Welcome back to another Akashic Update. My name is Laura Mazzata. I'm an Akashic Records channel and a holistic therapist of 20 years, and I'm here to share wisdom that's been coming through the Akashic Records lately. And this is going to be a short one because they just keep bringing this forward, and it got to the point where they're like, you need to share this with the world. It's just too important for people to receive. And so this is wisdom that I desire for you to really receive from a heart-spaced place, from an open field. So if you need to drop in, if you need to pause this video and go open the records with my other opening records video, you can find that link in the description of this video. But I want you to be in a place where you are receptive to what's coming forward. And I'm just going to channel here as they bring it through that, there's been so many people that are seeking spiritual guidance lately who are doing so from a place of like desperation and grasping and fear and ego. Like, I want. Like, I want to know, am I going to have enough money? Am I going to be safe in love? And what's going to happen with my children? What's going to happen with my career? What's going to happen with my father? Where is everything going to be landing for me? And they want to know the answers. And so they're coming in because they want this data, right? This data to satisfy their ego. And I get it. I so get it. I was that way myself earlier on in my journey, where I was just like diving into all the ancestral information and healing in the records and just, what purpose am I meant to serve for my lineage, for myself? What is my purpose? These were all answers that I was really seeking. And it's because I was in this place of real anxiety, and real desperation to have to know, because I was looking for an anchor. I was looking for something to kind of hold me safely and tell me, you're okay. You're going to be okay. Right. And so what the records really want everybody to know is that you're already okay, that it is okay. And that all of these answers that you're looking for are simply just validation that you're grasping for outside of yourself to confirm that what you already know is accurate. People come to me all the time and they're just like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And yet they're already doing it. They already do know. They're already taking these steps forward, but they're just not seeing it. They're not seeing it because they're too stuck in their fear, and they're too rigidly attached to, this is what it looks like when I get what I want, right? This is what it looks like. And otherwise it's not working. And it just feels like such a struggle, like so much trying, so much searching, so much forcing, so much egoic energy placed into getting what you want. And that's not what spirituality is about. Spirituality is about a deep, intimate, palpable relationship with source, relationship with your loved ones, with your guides, with angels. But ultimately, all of those things, whether we're talking about any other guides, whether we're talking about the Akashic Records, whether we're talking about Reiki, any other energetic healing modality, all of it comes from source. It was all created by source. The Akashic Records are simply a bridge to hold us safely and help us acclimate to this higher frequency energy so that we can hold the capacity of energy and love that is being offered to us by source, because it's so immense, because our power is so immense, because our mission on this planet is so immense. And so we're looking for all of these answers within the Akashic Records or any other modality or any other spiritual space, all of which were coined and termed and encapsulated in these little packages labeled by human beings to try to understand the divine and to try to understand the infinite. And ultimately, we are not meant to fully know the infinite. You need to be okay with not knowing. You need to sink into a space of surrender and trust that you don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to know. Because ultimately, when you are fully aligned with source energy and you are fully embodying who you are meant to be right here in this moment, and you're not focused on everything that's happened in the past and everything that's going to happen in the future, but you're just fully present in the moment and allowing yourself to deeply feel and immerse and receive in all of this love that's coming from the universe at all times, then you'll realize you're in this state of centeredness and calm and receptivity, so that everything that's meant to arrive to you will, because I promise everything that you want is already in your field. It's already energetically happening. And the only reason that it isn't fully coming into fruition is because you have not fully claimed, I'm ready, like I'm here. You are devoted to fully owning your responsibility as a spiritual being on this planet and actualizing the frequency that is desiring to come through you, that is already existent within you, to be able to serve on this planet. And that's ultimately what it's about. It's about service. It's like, why do you want to know the Akashic Records? So that you can have all the answers, so that you can say that you're spiritually aligned, so that you can feel this higher level of consciousness and feel calmer. Good. I want you to access a higher level of consciousness. I absolutely do. We all benefit from that, and we can continue to deepen it. Like, there's never a point when you're there. There's never a point when you don't have space to surrender more and to deepen your faith and your trust more. And that's what I find as people are going further and further on in their spiritual path. Is like, you need less answers. You're looking for less answers, and instead you're just being. You're just sitting in the energy, and you're saying to Source, I allow you to do with me whatever you will. Do whatever you want with me. I am here as a vessel of service for you. And so the key here, in terms of doing the work in the records, or I don't care whether you call it the Akashic Records or anything else, to be honest with you, like, it doesn't matter, right? That happens to be my favorite space, as it's been created by human beings. It exists in multiple dimensions, over multiple dimensions, from the 7th to the 11th dimension. And so, yes, there is higher consciousness that we can access, whether you call it the Akashic Records or something else, it doesn't really matter. But I want you to get there, because when you are in this space of higher consciousness, you're able to clearly discern between what is my ego telling me and what is it that Source is telling me. But that's not something that it's like, oh, I can just give you a quick skill and snap my fingers and all of a sudden, yeah, now you know the difference. It's a relationship. It's a process. You cannot avoid the process. And that's what I find a lot of people desire to do. It's like they want to avoid the process and they just want to get to the answers, right? And it's like, I can give you answers until I'm blue in the face. I can give you answers all day. I can channel like a champ, but they are only going to satisfy your ego temporarily. They are only going to satisfy your ego temporarily, because then you're going to be on to the next question, because that's the natural nature of our minds as human beings. Like, you're then going to just be on to the next question and the next thing. And so it's like, instead of looking for all the answers and trying to find all the reasons why, just sit in the records. Just sit with Source. Just attune to the frequency and trust and know that it's happening. We're very impatient as human beings. And this process is intentionally here so that we develop more patience, so that we get rid of this instant gratification mentality, and we trust that this relationship with Source and this attunement to this frequency occurs over time. And it is meant to, because if it didn't, we would be twitching. Our humans would be like, I can't hold all this energy. Like, I don't know how to hold all this energy. What is all this bigness? I don't have the capacity for this, right? Like, we are meant to learn the language of the universe, to understand the universe because we love it, not because it makes us feel smarter, not because it makes us feel like better human beings, or so we can say we're more aligned. We are eager and curious to know the universe because feeling the gravity and the immensity of God's love is something that is unexplainable. And it's something that we want more and more people to feel. and to know so deeply that they don't question themselves all the time, that the doubt does not become the center of their lives and their guiding force, that the fear is not always driving them to make their next decision. This is a service-based space. It's a service-based path. And that's a huge shift of, I want to heal myself. I want to be my best self too. It doesn't matter. I don't matter. I matter and I don't matter. Like, I don't matter because ultimately I'm here to be of service, but I do matter in terms of taking responsibility for the fact that I'm here to be in service. People will say it's about calming the nervous system. It's about doing all this nervous system work to bring you to a space where you can be more receptive. I do like nervous system techniques. I think they're very effective. I use some of them myself. But you will get to a point in your spiritual journey where you do not need to use those tools anymore, because what is enough is just tapping into source and allowing source to be with you in every moment of every day. To allow source to guide you in every moment of every day. That you have become a vehicle to be moved. You've become a vehicle to be moved rather than fighting for your position in how to move, in where to move, and what to move, and what to do. So I want you to bring love to all of this. I want you to bring love to the fear, love to the doubt. All of it is a sign that you are right on the precipice of transition into a higher level of consciousness. And that doesn't mean that you need to search for all the answers to ground you. It means that you are being asked to surrender deeper into the embrace of source, into the divine plan. Into deeper and fuller embodiment of who you are meant to be right in this moment. There's no place to get. There's nothing that you have to do other than open to source. And I'll tell you, the number of people that resist this, I cannot even count. They resist this because it is a patient, solemn, sometimes solemn process of stepping into your own sovereignty. And people don't create the space for that. Just give me the answers. Just tell me how to do it. Why? Why do you want to know? Why? Why do you need to know? If you're truly on the spiritual path, you don't need to fucking know. You don't need to know. And if you need to know, you need to trust more. If you need to know, that means you're being invited to trust more. I'm sending you so much love because I know that your nervous system and your ego are probably really twitchy around this concept. And it's like, but how, but how, but how, but how? Just start connecting. Devote yourself. Decide before you feel it. Decide before you're there. This is what I used to tell my therapy clients all the time, especially people who were really depressed. Well, but once I'm not depressed, then I can. Just decide you're going to do it now. and then depression will start to lift. Don't wait for that to lift. Don't wait for yourself to feel all of the palpable sensations that you feel other people get that are supposed to come up within you when you connect to the Akashic Records or when you connect to source. Don't wait until you get all the data and the evidence from source that, yes, I see this tangibly, now I know, and therefore I will trust. You are being called by source to just trust, to just decide this is what I'm here for, to just decide I know without a doubt that I need you, source. I need you, God. I cannot do this human life without you. And I don't want to, because I want to be moved. I want to be moved for so many reasons. I want to be moved because it's easier. I want to be moved because I want to serve. I want to be moved because it's so much bigger than I could ever dream of, right? And you surrender to being allowed to be moved by God. And every single person receives that movement and is guided to move differently. Not any one of us are exactly the same in how we channel and exactly what it feels like to be connected. All of those things. Are there some similarities? Yes, but everybody's different. And so it's being able to view this as a path of curiosity and exploration and adventure and intrigue. Ooh, that's curious. That's interesting. What just showed up? Ooh, cool. And you don't have to analyze it. You don't have to figure it out. You just smile and you feel grateful. And then you do it again the next day. You connect to source. You connect in meditation. You pray. You move your body. You sit in Mother Nature. You journal. But even journaling is more egoic. But a lot of times necessary. Journaling is one of my favorites. A lot of times necessary. That's a huge modality for me to help me just really balance this human and spiritual, where I'm honoring what's coming up in my human. I'm honoring the ego. I'm honoring what I want to know. I'm honoring that I want to know. I'm honoring that I have a mind. But I'm also not relying on the mind. And I'm also not making decisions from the mind. Just take a nice deep breath in. Again, just sharing so much love from wherever you are and knowing that there's never a point where you're doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. There is no wrong. There's only forward movement on this path. But we get to this place where it's like, how can I surrender more? I've already surrendered so much. I've been there so many times. Guess what? We're working with the infinite. There's always room to surrender. Allow God to show you, allow the universe to show you, allow yourself to be invited into deeper. We aren't going to know and understand deeper surrender. One thing I know is that my deepest level of surrender thus far has been completely surrendering my life, whether I live or die, to source. Because a lot of our fear, that's where most of our fear on this planet comes from, is like survival instinct. And our nervous system, for sure, it's wired to keep us safe and protected and alive. So if I can take some pressure off my nervous system and love on my body by saying, whatever's meant to be will be. Otherwise, I'm living in a state of constant fear, not necessarily on the surface, but certainly in my primal brain. And it's not going to get me to that frequency of divine awareness and deep, unwavering love and infinite life that we all have access to. We are not meant to live in this dimension. We are meant to live in another and appreciate the enjoyment and the sensation of this dimension. Anchor your home, anchor your livelihood in a dimension that does not exist in the 3D, right? In the 5D, the 60, the 70, the 80, the 90. Anchor yourself there. Anchor yourself there. And then honor, love on, soothe, appreciate, have a freaking ball with what's embodied here. And allow all those questions and anxiety and doubt and quote unquote negative emotions that come up for you to be a portal and a cue and an invitation into return to source, return to source, return to source, return to source. Not from this like regimented structure perspective, but from a resting place. I'm returning to source to rest. I'm returning to source to be held. I'm returning to source to allow all of it to be absorbed by the universe. Show me where I am meant to move. Show me how this is meant to activate and catalyze me. I'm here for it. I am here for the hard truths. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. They want to go into this expansion of consciousness because why? Because they want to feel better, but it's not an escape. It's not a bypassing, right? It's a witnessing and a facing of yourself with the deepest level of honesty and candor and genuine, raw you that you are meant to see and meet. There are dark parts of all of us. There are fucked up thoughts and fucked up beliefs that are part of every single one of us. It's what your soul signed up for when it came here to this human plane, right? But unfortunately, all of that becomes a distraction and a derailment and a desperate seeking rather than simply a reminder that we're all just being activated to return to source energy. And it doesn't matter how long you've been on this path and how brilliant you are and how much you know and how many degrees you have and how spiritually well-versed you are. You are meant to show up to every single moment with source as a beginner. You are meant to show up as at every single moment with source as if you know nothing, as if you have never been taught, as if you have never practiced a modality in your life. Because that freshness offers God a clean slate on which to write the next part of your story so that your invitation is clear. So write all the questions down that you have. Write them down, honor them. Hold yourself as you witness the flurry of I want, I need in order to move forward, to come forward, see it all. And then remind yourself that you're not playing this game anymore. You're not waiting on actualizing your highest level of how freaking cool you are right in this moment. No more waiting energy. Once I know this, once I have this, then I'll be there. Then I'll be ready. Decide you're ready to be received in full by the universe. Decide you're ready to be fully seen, that you are ready to fully see yourself, even the shit that you judge yourself for, that you feel ashamed of. If you cannot bring it all into the presence of source, you have room. You have room to deepen. You have room to surrender. You have room to trust more. As I say these words out loud, I'm seeing where I have room. I want to be seen. I want to be deeply loved for exactly who I am, no matter how messy it may seem. We get to giggle at our crazy and have some fun with it. Have some fun with it. This roller coaster ride of humanity, right? But guess what? There's always a plateau where we get to chill out and catch our breath. There's always that upward climb that's super, super slow. And we're like excited and freaked out all at the same time before we hit the peak and go on our next ride, right? But we get to a point in our consciousness where we get to witness that instead of being deeply rooted in it. Again, where we are anchored in another dimension, we are witnessing the roller coaster, knowing that we are not in danger of anything. In fact, there's more dis-ease and dysfunction in this world as a result of our disconnection from being anchored in that dimension. That's the primary issue. Okay, I feel complete with this right now. A lot came through today, so anything that you have questions about, feel free to leave in the comments. I have an Akashic immersion coming up where we're going to be doing a deeper dive into the Akashic records, into dimensions beyond the Akashic records, into source energy, into actualizing this higher state of frequency and presence for yourself so that you are less in a space of conscious seeking and instead in a space of embodiment and receiving. So I will drop that link here in the description. You can check it out. And if you have not already checked out my beginner's video for the Akashic records, for how to open them, how to get started with them, I will also leave that in the description so that you can check that out and start to play in that space. But always open to whatever's coming forward for you. And just in the nature of you writing it in the comments, you are witnessing yourself and what's coming up within you. And I ask you to be very present and curious and loving around any kind of reactivity that's come up within your system or in your ego during this experience, because that is the data that will, if received without dismissal and received with deep curiosity and love, will catalyze your next level of consciousness. So thanks for being here with me, and I will see you very soon. Bye.